This is a song called Money for the Ferry, which was a song written and sung by Isle of Wight songwriter Steve Love about a trip over on the hovercraft to Portsmouth. Well, he couldn't afford the trip, so he built a tunnel to go over instead to meet his girlfriend, but unfortunately she'd left to come to the Isle of Wight, so he married her sister instead. Down the road from me there lived a lad of 23 who loved a girl called Sue, and his name was Terry. And she was oh so pretty, but she lived in Portsmouth City. But Terry did not have the money for the ferry. Down the back of his settee, Terry found £1.23, and he thought his luck was quite extraordinary. But at the terminal of the hovercraft, the ticket people laughed, and they said that is not enough money for the ferry. While Terry pondered what to do to get across to Sue, the Great Escape film was on the movie channel, and that gave Terry an idea how to get to her from here. And he said, I will build myself a secret tunnel. Yes, that gave Terry an idea how to get to there from here. And he said, I will build myself a secret tunnel. That night Terry broke the ground, and he burrowed his way down, digging with his shovel, pick and spade. And by the break of day he was 50 feet away, down deep in the tunnel that he had made. Well, Terry laboured day and night by the glow of candlelight, hacking out the rocks. It was quite scary, but the thing that kept him going was the pleasure of just knowing that he would not need the money for the ferry. Yes, the thing that kept him going was the pleasure of just knowing that he would not need the money for the ferry. All the stuff Terry dug out, he strewed it round about, and soon it made a pretty hefty hill. You could see his rocky pile from every corner of the isle, and every morning it was a bigger still. Terry's neighbours were suspicious, as it went against their wishes. They grumbled, but of course being British, they'd not like to ask, so Terry carried on his task, and it only took another year to finish. Yes, they did not like to ask, so Terry carried on his task, and it only took another year to finish. Then as Terry neared the end, he made an upward bend, and he calculated just exactly where, and he broke through the ceiling. It gave him a happy feeling, because he had saved his money on the ferry fare. And then early the next morn, Terry came up in Sue's front lawn to find an angry woman standing there. She said, "Who the hell are you?" And Terry said, "I've come to visit Sue." And she said, "I recognise you now all right. You used to date my sister. Well, you have just gone and missed her, as she moved last week to the Isle of Wight." Yes, you used to date my sister. Well, you have just gone and missed her, as she moves last week to the Isle of Wight. Well, Terry cried and said, "What can I say? I have tunnelled all this way, and now I have gone and missed her, and I did not know she had a sister. All I have got is £10.20, and she said, 'Oh, that is plenty, as it does not cost a lot to get me a ferry.' Sue's sister Mary said, 'Forget the Isle of Wight, Terry. Why don't you take me out tonight? Because you won't need that money for the ferry.' Yes, she said, 'Forget the Isle of Wight, Terry. Why don't you take me out tonight? because you won't need that money for the ferry. Well, I like a happy ending, so that's what I intended. So Terry married Sue's sister's Mary, and we live in Portsmouth, and we are very happy, very. For Sunday's tea, those three all meet through the tunnel, it is their treat, and they never need the money for the ferry. Yes, they never need the money for the hovercraft ferry. Money for the ferry. Or no money for the ferry.
All right. Thanks, Brian. That was awesome.